So I may have given you more than what you want in terms of my personal sort of narrative as far as my own spiritual awakening. But I came across this letter that I wrote in October 10th, 1985, and now as I read this, it's the spring of 2023. And I said in this letter, I said, "Dear Nembutsu friends," because I had a network of friends across the country, really, who communicated about our particular orientations and attraction to the Pure Land School of Buddhism. And we actually had a publication called Wider Shin Buddhist Fellowship. And in another video or playlist with videos, I think I have communicated some of the content of that wonderful group. But in any case, this is what I said on this occasion in 1985. I said, "Dear Nembutsu friends, I date my first Shinjin experience back to the spring of 1979. At that time, I felt I was failing in my effort to establish a private psychotherapy practice. Full of anxiety, fear, and uncertainty, I knelt down in solitude, admitted my failure, and asked for help from whatever power might exist beyond my feeble self. Although I really didn't expect a response, there was one. I was filled with a wonderful sense of peace and reassurance. I now understand that I had entered Amida's compassionate embrace. Namo Amida Butsu. In searching for ways to prolong and deepen this gift of inner tranquility, I was most attracted to Buddhist teachings. With amazement, joy, and deep satisfaction, I read and reread the Mahayana Sutras. For about a year, I deluded myself into thinking I could seriously pursue the Bodhisattva path. I didn't see then that reliance upon the Tathagata was the essential cause of my spiritual awakening. When I tried to make substantive behavioral changes toward a lifestyle of compassion and self-denial, such as becoming a Head Start teacher, I discovered how foolish I was in thinking that I could fulfill the requirements of the paramitas. Thankfully, a Buddhist friend and further reading helped me appreciate the Pure Land teachings, and I consciously decided to become an Amida devotee. I knew I needed the easy path promised by his vow. Still, as I should have expected, pride continued to dominate as I tried to become a paragon of devotion. At least that's the reason I gave myself for taking a factory job at the beginning of 1981. I wanted to eliminate all distractions from my focus on Amida. It has been and is difficult indeed for me to give up contrivance and self-effort in my religious practice. I got back into the professional arena via a hospice directorship. To make more money and provide more security for my family, I later obtained a psychologist position at a state mental institution, which is where I've been for 3.5 years. This hospital is a setting that, for better or worse, results in a negation of whatever illusions one may have about one's potency, capabilities, or goodness. As you may have surmised, I don't have that sense of peace as consistently as when it was first given to me. I am sure, however, that Amida watches over me and is doing everything he can to soften the blows of my karmic unfolding. And I have no doubts at all that when this essentially miserable life is over, I will be endowed with the mantle of Buddhahood. Namu Amida Butsu. My basic selfishness is again reflected in the fact that this letter is exclusively self-oriented. I will try to respond to your letters in future correspondence. Sincerely, and then I signed it. So, for what that's worth, the ramblings of a bamboo, the ramblings of an ordinary being filled with blind passions. And again, this theme, this overarching theme of evolution from self-power to other power, which, even though there's a, quote, easy path, Shinran says it's difficult. It's a difficult path. Why? Because it's difficult to give up our pride, difficult to give up our egotism, difficult to give up our poisons of greed and aversion, our arrogance, our sense of being able to do for myself when in reality we need Amida. We need the sustaining power of the Buddhas. Namo Amida Butsu. Namandabs. Namandabs. Namandabs.